Your doctor told you the blood work was fine. And he wasn't lying to you. He just ran the wrong markers. There are 5 numbers that'll tell you more about whether you're going to be alive, sharp, and active at 75 than pretty much anything else. And most men over 30 have never tested 4 of them. So today, we're actually going under the bonnet, all of it. Welcome to part 2. This is a 6-part series where I'm taking you through the Atlas method. The 4 pillars I use to get high-performing guys their energy, focus, and body back in 90 days. If you've not seen part 1, go and watch that first. It's the full map. The link's down below. And if you're new and wondering who the bold guy speaking is, well, my name's Harry Johnson. I've got a master's degree in strength and conditioning, and I spent over a decade and a half as a strength and conditioning coach. Firstly in pro sport, then training founders and execs on the gym floor in central London. So the people this is aimed at, I've worked with a lot of them. Today's pillar 1, test. The diagnostic side, the 5 numbers, the gut layer, and the imaging the wealthy have been quietly running for years. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to run yourself, what to aim for, and how to actually do it. This is the same diagnostics we run on every guy coming into Atlas, and the same one I run on myself 2 to 4 times a year. But let's take Chris, chiropractor, husband, pretty awesome dude. He came to me at 47, weighing 285 pounds. His standard physical was fine, blood pressure high and medicated, but nothing to worry about. Energy was on the floor, and he'd wake up and have to swing his legs off the side of the bed just to get going. The way he put it, at 47, I felt like I was 80, and my dad got around better than me. We ran a proper panel, and the real picture showed up. The markers his doctor had never looked at were the ones that mattered. Under a year later, he's 95 pounds down. Different man, still awesome, and again, that's his words, not a claim I'm making for him. By the end of this, you'll know the 5 numbers and what to aim for, why the gut layer is the missing piece, the imaging worth knowing about, and what all this actually costs to run. But one thing's first, and I'll say it only once, this is education, not medical advice. I'm a performance coach, not your doctor. Nothing here is a diagnosis or a treatment, and anything you want to act on, run it past a proper doctor first. Atlas works alongside your medical team, never instead of it. Right, let's get into it. So, you've had your blood work done at a physical, at work, maybe a private clinic, and you've been told you're fine, you're in range. The problem isn't your doctor, it's the panel they run. HDL, LDL, triglycerides, a basic blood count, and a basic metabolic panel. That's the standard, and it's built to catch disease. It's a bit like kicking the tires and calling it a full service. You'll go through a 40 grand invoice line by line, but you'll take "you're fine" from a 30-second blood test. It doesn't quite add up, does it? So you're wondering, what do I even ask for? Which markers? Who runs them? Am I meant to read a 12-page panel myself? And that's what we're sorting today. Your VO2 max drops as you age, but the things you want to still be doing don't get any easier on your lungs. Hiking with the kids, lugging a case through the airport, a sex life past 70. All of it needs a certain amount of oxygen, and that doesn't change. So if your VO2 max is in the bottom quartile for your age, you've already lost access to a chunk of that life. VO2 max is one of the 5 things we're going to go through. So here are the 5. The same 5 every time, so write them down. APOB. It's basically the real count of the particles that clog your arteries. A better predictor of a heart attack than the standard cholesterol numbers you've been given. You want it under 80. And most men over 30 are sitting somewhere between 95 and 130, and they have no clue. LP(a), that one's genetic, and you only need to test it once in your life. If it's high, your heart attack risk sits well above normal, no matter how clean you live. And that changes the whole plan. Almost nobody has it checked. Fasting insulin, the earliest warning light on your metabolism. It starts drifting years before your blood sugar does. You want it on the low side, and it's the one quietly moving while everyone's watching the wrong dial. HSCRP, whole body inflammation in a single number, and the best one we've got. Under 1 is the target, VO2 max. Bluntly, the single biggest predictor of how long you'll live. The gap between bottom and top is huge, and it's not a blood test, it's a fitness measure, which is exactly why most men have never done it. And now the bit almost nobody runs, your gut. We map it through RNA sequencing, the fatigue, the brain fog, the fact that you're probably not absorbing half the supplements or nutrients you're paying for. And a lot of the time it traces back to a gut that's quietly drifted out of your balance over the last 5 to 10 years. Your standard physical doesn't even know this exists. Map it properly and it rewrites your food choices and half of your supplement list. Based on your gut, not some generic list off of a wellness site. It's the layer nobody runs, and it's often the one that changes how you actually feel day to day. And while we're under the bonnet, The imaging the well if you have been running quietly for years. Coronary calcium score. Cheap, and it tells you exactly whether there's already hardening in your arteries. A DEXA scan once a year for body composition and bone density. A carotid ultrasound, 15 minutes, picks up early artery disease. And for some men over 50, a whole body MRI is debated because it can throw up false alarms, but finding something at 2 millimeters instead of 20 is a very different conversation. None of this is exotic or out of reach. It's just been kept fairly quiet, mostly by the people who could afford it. At Atlas, we've built this into the Atlas Diagnostics, a 100+ marker panel through our diagnostic partner, Marek Health, which covers all 5 of those numbers and 100 more. Gut sequencing, so the gut's mapped, and if your numbers call for it, say your fasting insulin's up or there's a metabolic flag we need to chase, a glucose monitor to see what your food is actually doing. Your wearable ships with it too, a Whoop or Oura Ring, so the tracking starts from day one. One package, the most complete picture of your health you've ever had. What I won't tell you is that it's comfortable. Now, most guys seeing their numbers for the first time at 40 odd get a bit of a shock. And that's kind of the point. You can't fix what you can't see. So here's the honest cost of not running this. You carry on managing your body by feel, the same way that's got you where you are now. And the thing most guys reach for instead is worse. A clinic that runs one marker, doesn't like the number, and reaches for the prescription pad like a dessert menu. The numbers that were cheap and easy to move at 40 turn into a harder, more clinical conversation at 45. It's not a horror story, it's just a worse hand than the one you could be holding. And a few years you don't get back. If you want the Atlas Diagnostics run on you, the link's in the description. Most guys come out of that one decision knowing more about their body than they have in 20 years. And it comes off the program if you decide to carry on. Next video, Pillar 2, train. The 4-hour-a-week template that fits a diary full of meetings and the way of eating that works around client dinners instead of falling apart the moment one lands. That's part 2. I'll see you in the next one.